I'm Nick Vunich, owner of Battlefield Sports Conditioning, which runs the Indoor Developmental Football League. The IDFL is a 5-on-5 non-contact football league that focuses on position-specific skill development. Now, I originally developed the rules of this game to provide athletes working with me here at Battlefield Sports Conditioning an opportunity during the off-season to work on sport-specific skills. I don't believe that traditional 7-on-7 football provides realistic training or focuses on fundamental skills. It also neglects a number of positions on the field, like all of our linemen. Now, I wanted to fix that for the folks that were training with me, so I developed rules for the IDFL that would allow all players an opportunity to work on these skills. Now, every position on the field plays in all of our 5-on-5 games, and each of those positions gets to train on their individual position-specific techniques. So let's take a look at how the IDFL games are played.
So let's start by discussing team rosters, because this is one of the most important things about this league and one of the things I've seen people go a little wrong with. Our minimum recommended team roster is 10 players. You're going to want to have at least one quarterback, and typically I recommend that each team just has one quarterback. But you want to go with 4 wide receivers, 3 offensive linemen, and then 2 tight ends and or running backs. And what this essentially does for us is gives us 2 full squads of offensive players, and this allows us to run a lot more repetitions while keeping our players as fresh as possible. Now again, this is the minimum recommended number, so with younger age groups I would expect to see this go as high as 15 players, maybe even a little more, so that the players do stay fresh, are able to run good solid routes and focus on fundamental skills. If we get too tired, the play can get sloppy, so it's important that we do adequately fill rosters. But you want to have a solid spread, as we show here. I've seen people go wrong by not having offensive linemen on their team, and as you'll learn here real quickly, offensive line plays a major role in the games that we play. So let's see what the offensive roster looks like actually out on the field during these 5-on-5 games. Now real quickly, we're going to obviously have the quarterback. You'll see the lineman walking onto the field now. He'll be followed by 2 wide receivers and the running back. One position that's not going to be depicted on the field in this video is the center. We do make use of a center for an actual live snap during the games, but that center is not considered one of the active players on the field, and he's not involved in the play in any other way other than to snap the ball, so that we do get that live snap. So this is your normal set you'll see here: quarterback, lineman, 2 wide receivers, and a running back. Now what we're going to show next is basically how the offense can run its normal playbook and various formations during the games by offsetting along the field. There's 3 starting positions that the quarterback can utilize to run various formations. We're going to depict a slot formation here, but I've seen trips and I've seen players in motion. Virtually anything you do with your normal playbook can be done in this league. So now that we've looked at the offensive side of the ball, let's take a look at defense. The first 2 positions on defense are your cornerbacks, typically man up on your receivers. There'll normally be a safety deep midfield queuing off the quarterback. You'll have a defensive lineman man up for the pass protection drills with the offensive lineman. And then you're going to have a linebacker who's typically reading the running back, tight end, or manned up on a slot receiver. And we also make use of a mock offensive line in the IDFL to keep receivers from running very shallow routes they wouldn't normally be able to in games. This also makes it more realistic for our quarterbacks because they have to visualize through the line as they would in a normal game to find receivers downfield. Now as we shift along the line to set different formations, the center will just roll the mock offensive line into position, again to keep realism in the game and keep that offensive line directly in front as it would be in a game. During our games, the offensive and defensive linemen run both a pass rush drill and a one-on-one pass protection drill. If the defensive lineman tackles a tackling dummy prior to the quarterback releasing the ball, that counts as a sack, and the defense will score 2 points for it. One of the primary changes you'll see in the IDFL rules is the way we do point scoring in our games. We've eliminated a lot of what you'll see in outdoor flag football. So first off, there are no flags in our league or any of our tournaments. And there's really two reasons for this. One, it's a safety issue. Because we're indoor and we're playing on an indoor field with walls, one of the things we didn't want to see was athletes inadvertently being pushed or running into each other, colliding on the field, or colliding and then making contact with walls. So that's one of the reasons that we've eliminated the flags and the touching in our games. Two, we believe that it really doesn't allow us to focus on the fundamentals of the game. What we want to concentrate on is running sharp patterns, getting separation from the defenders, and timing and spacing with the quarterback and his receivers downfield. All these things can be done without the normal running and advancing downfield, which in most cases isn't realistic football in our opinion. So that's why in our game it's been eliminated. So the way points are scored in the IDFL rulebook are based on zones on the field. So each play starts at a static line of scrimmage, which is shown here as our first yellow line on the field, and every play during the game will be run from this line. Now if a receiver moves downfield and catches a ball in the first zone, they'll score 2 points for that reception. And if they make a catch in the second zone downfield, that catch will be worth 4 points. And finally, if they move all the way into the third zone at the far end of the field, those receptions are worth 6. Now, because we don't advance downfield and because there's no after-catch play, we're able to run maximum repetitions inside of our game times. In some of the games we've run at the high school levels, in 30 minutes we've come close to 100 plays. And that's pretty hard to beat and pretty hard to match running flag football outdoors. I've never seen a game that ran anywhere near that many of plays and got that number of repetitions and with their training. So this is one of the huge advantages of this style of play. So let's go ahead and take a look at what this looks like in action. Our first play will be a zone 1 reception, 2 points. Now a zone 2 reception, 4 points. And finally a zone 3 reception for 6 points, all the way downfield. Now in our games, we also have goal line situations. These are all worth 4 points. And a defensive interception is 4 points as well. Games in the IDFL are typically 25 minutes long with a running clock. We have no timeouts in the game, and there's a 1-minute halftime. Each offense has 12 minutes of possession, 6 minutes in each half. And the offense will remain on offense until that 6-minute time clock runs out. Then we would switch series, and the defense would become offense. Offense would then move to defense. Now they would remain on offense no matter what happens on the field. So as we saw earlier in the video, if the defense were to intercept the ball, defense will score points for that. But the offense remains on offense until their 6-minute time clock is out. And the offense will run as many plays as they can during their possession. This is the huge benefit of this style of play. We're going for maximum repetitions. We're going to get on the field, we're going to run as many plays as we can, and we're going to focus on our position-specific fundamental skills. That's what this game is all about.